He came back 80% disabled. And
Con recruiting to us is like, it's probably one of the most important things, because
there was a girl who had fallen in love with a young man, and they had come down here together, and then he had deployed and he unfortunately died. Every Sunday morning there are a group of us as volunteers that show up to erect a memorial, and we call it Arlington West, Santa Monica. We've been doing this since February 15th, 2004, and the memorial has grown because over those many years there have been more and more GIs that have died in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Our mission particularly as now stands for get people to understand what the cost of war is all about, get people to understand the problems of veterans, what the problems we're having with veterans, that the problems when they're coming back being wounded and being injured. Actually, comes down to what it comes down to is, you know, these injuries never go away. They're always there. If you're an amputee, you die an amputee.
Arlington West went on tour with the Eyes Wide Open exhibit, and they went to D.C. So we traveled from Missouri to D.C. And my son at first couldn't be around it because it was so powerful. And then after a little while, he realized how important it was that people were remembering what the sacrifices are over in Iraq. And he was able to process a lot of healing from that time. He told me a lot of stories of things I never had a clue about. My son did 2 tours of duty over in Iraq. He came back 80% disabled, and he was suffered from traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder.
I've been here for almost 5 years now, and I've seen numerous different people come down, and you will see perhaps a parent coming down and sitting in front of their child's marker, and they will have brought photos that they set up, perhaps a little crucifix or dog tags, and they will sit there for hours, and they will just come back every Sunday.
The one thing about this memorial is we get the information from the young men and women and the soldiers that are coming back from Iraq. We don't get it from we get real information. They tell us stories that, they tell us their experiences that they've had in Iraq, and they're rough, and they're life-changing, and these young men and women need to be, they're special people, and we have to take care of them, and we have to make sure that they're going to be strong and healthy the rest of their lives.
When you come here to Arlington West, people write notes. They put the name down. If there's not a name or a card set up already, you can put the name down that you want to honor. If you want to write a letter or a note or leave something for them, and then we put that out put that in a folder and then keep track of it so we can put it out. But it actually represents anything that is put out. The thousands of mementos that have been done is people who have physically traveled here to write down that name and to honor and remember that name.
There was a girl who had fallen in love with a young man, and they had come down here together, and then he had deployed and he unfortunately died, and she came back for many months and would set up a little memorial for him.
Right now we've got kids from Fairfax High School down here. A couple weeks ago we had kids come in from Bravo. We've had Peace and Justice Group come down here. with 20 kids at one time. We had a school come on here, Fremont High School, brought 40 students down here. And we give them the experience of putting up the memorial, seeing the mementos, seeing the memorials, and give them an opportunity to think a little bit about what they're seeing. And then we talk to them about what they saw, and hope they get the opportunity to be able to think a little bit and maybe not join the service.
Put the names of the soldiers that have passed away in Iraq, and the white crosses represent one soldier, the red ones 10 soldiers, and then the blue ones that have died this week.
I think the initial reaction is a emotional one. I think it goes deep into the heart for most people. Sometimes they can speak about it, other times they can't. And for me, it's very important that we don't push that, because each person that comes down here has to take it from where they're coming from. And I think they walk away with it still in their hearts and still processing it. Some break down in tears, others can't come down the pier steps down to the memorial itself. Perhaps they were a World War II veteran, or a Vietnam veteran, or a family member, and so it's so varied. Some people get angry, some people feel very patriotic. So it's each individual has their own response, and that's the beauty of something like this, because you're not dictating to anyone in particular how to take this.
I love working with all the veterans and all the active duty military that come by to see this, to give the different perspectives of war and what the cost of that war is, and work a lot with the youth. There's a lot of youth that come out here, and so that they can recognize what actually war is. It's not a game. It's not something that, like a lot of video games are out there, and they think it's just a game and they can get up and walk away. This kind of helps bring home some of the realities for the children.
Recruiters go there and recruit heavy, take students out of there, and it's a big problem. So we go in and we counter recruit. We go in there and we tell these students, we don't tell them not to join the service. What we tell them to do is this is what they need to do. They need to make sure they go to college, go to school, take advantage of school, take advantage of education. We can also say the opportunities of an education, if you're going to just end up joining the service, if you have a good education, you can become an officer. And that's helpful. That keeps basically, keeps you basically it'll keep you off the front lines. Basically, it'll help you stay so you don't have to go in and fight a war.